Today we are going to be talking about subject-verb agreement and how to make sure you are always ensuring that your subjects and your verbs agree. So that is the biggest rule, is that your subjects and your verbs need to agree in number. Singular subject refers to one person, place, or thing and requires a singular verb. So for example, my mom likes to go shopping. Mom is the singular subject and likes would be the singular verb, and they have to agree in number. A plural subject refers to two or more persons, places, or things, and therefore requires a plural verb. So in this case, my parents like my new shirt. Now parents is a plural subject and require a plural verb like. So you always want to make sure that they agree in number. So let's just practice that for a second. Go ahead and pause the screencast and do the first 6 problems where you're just identifying the subject in each sentence, the main subject, and indicating whether it is a subject or indicating whether it is a singular or a plural subject. So go ahead and pause now. Okay, so let's see how you did. So in the first one, the 8 marching bands perform at the Lake County competition. So bands would be your plural subject. There are 2 roads you can take. Roads is your plural subject. The aides for the dean's office take hall passes to the classroom. Aides is your plural subject. The money for the volleyball players earned is enough to buy new uniforms. Money is your singular subject. Either the clown or the magician is scheduled to appear at the library on Sunday afternoon. This one's a little tricky. So we have 2 main subjects, clown and magician. They are both singular. Neither the teacher nor the students want to stay late after school. Again, this one has 2 main subjects, teacher, which is singular, and students, which is plural. So the basic rules for subject-verb agreement are first that a verb must agree in number with its subject, whether the verb precedes or follows the verb. Second, a singular verb is used with a singular subject. And a plural verb is used with a plural subject. And then lastly, when 2 subjects are joined by and, they become plural, even if those subjects are singular on their own. So take a second right now, pause the screencast. You'll see that there's some space for you to try out those rules by including singular or plural verbs. So pause and do those next problems. Let's see how you did. So number 1 should be Jay-Z is my favorite rapper. My favorite musical artists are Jay-Z and Beyonce. Dr. Gilliam makes many important decisions. Many students read the Twilight books. Anna and Elsa are popular Halloween costumes. So those were the basic rules, pretty easy peasy. But now we get into some tricky topics. So the first tricky topic is combined and separated subjects. The second one will be separation between subjects and verbs. Then we'll talk about indefinite pronouns, and we'll close with collective nouns. So the first tricky topic is combining and separating subjects. The first rule you need to remember is that when 2 singular subjects are joined by or nor, they remain singular. So for example, neither John nor Brandon eats alone. So John and Brandon are both singular, joined by nor. So you want a singular verb, eats. For your turn, you would say neither Colin nor Ryan is cheating on the test. Take a second and pause and do that second your turn by yourself. And this one would be either Hiba or Kara is first in line. So again, we've got these singular subjects. We want to make sure our verb is singular because we're joined by either or and neither nor. Okay, so the second kind of part to this first tricky topic is that when 2 plural subjects are joined by or nor, they remain plural. So for example, neither cookies nor chips are good for a healthy diet. So cookies, chips, both plural, and then need a plural verb there, are. Take a second and pause the screencast and do the your turn examples on your own. So for the first one, you would say either supervisors or employees are to take responsible for the error. The second one, neither boots nor shoes are included in the one-day sale. So again, you've got these plural subjects joined by neither nor, either or. You just want to make sure that you have the plural verb there. The next part of this first tricky topic is that if a subject consists of both singular and plural nouns or pronouns connected by or and or, the verb agrees with the closer noun or pronoun. So for example, neither the teacher nor the students want to be here. So teacher is singular, students is plural, but students is closer to the verb of want. So since students is plural, your verb will be plural. Take a second and pause the screencast and do those your turn examples. So for the first one, neither the students nor the teacher wants to be here. So this time teacher is closest to the verb. Teacher is singular. So you would have a singular verb of wants. Either Josh, Molly, or the Shanks sisters are planning to organize the graduation party. So even though Josh and Molly are singular, Shanks sisters is plural. So now you're going to have that plural verb of are. All right, the last part of this first tricky topic. The only way to make a compound and therefore plural subject is to use and. So watch out for other joining phrases that may appear to make a compound subject but don't. For example, the parent, in addition to her children, wants to attend the fundraiser. So this can be confusing because it makes it sound like perhaps the subject should be plural because of children, but that phrase does not change the main subject, which is parent, and needs to be singular. So the parent wants to attend the fundraiser. So you just have to ignore this stuff in the middle. So take a second, pause the screencast, and do that your turn problem on your own. So for the your turn, you would write the teacher as well as the administrators is going to the meeting. Okay, so the teachers are main subject. You have to ignore this middle stuff here because those are not part of the main subject. And then is would be your singular verb there because teacher is singular. All right, the second tricky topic is about separation between subjects and verbs. It's kind of similar to what we were just looking at with that last tricky topic. So you want to watch out for unnecessary words between the subject and the verb. So for example, it would be incorrect to say the reports which covered the colonization of Africa leaves out too much information. And that would be incorrect because reports is your main subject, which is plural, and leaves is singular. You wouldn't say the reports leaves out too much information. You would say the reports leave out too much information. So that would be a corrected version of that sentence. All right, take a second and do the your turn problem. Pause the screencast. Your turn, you would say the child, contrary to the opinion of his parents, has an ear infection. Okay, so child is singular. Ignore this middle stuff. Has is singular too. So you just want to make sure that those match. So to correct these errors, the big trick is to identify the subject and the verb and make sure they're both singular or plural, ignoring all that stuff that might come in between. All right, tricky topic number 3 are indefinite pronouns. So these are just some rules that you have to remember. So the indefinite pronouns, anyone, everyone, someone, no one, nobody, and each are always singular and therefore require singular verbs. One easy way to remember this one is that most of these indefinite pronouns end with one, anyone, everyone, someone, no one. So that will help you remember that it's one, it's singular, not nobody. And each you can think about like no, body, one body. I don't know about each, but the singular pronoun, and then we'll take a singular verb. So for example, everyone has done his or her homework. So has to be singular because everyone is also singular. Another example, each student proofreads his or her paper carefully. So each is always singular therefore proofreads also needs to be singular. Okay, so take a second, pause this, and go ahead and do the your turn problem. So here you would say no one needs to be rude to his or her classmates. No one is singular, so needs also has to be singular. The indefinite pronouns several, few, both, and many are always plural and therefore require plural verbs. So for example, both Casey and Gina cut their hair. Both is plural, so cut has to be plural. Pause this and do the your turn problem. So for the your turn, many students cut their nails on a regular basis. Many is plural, so cut also has to be plural. Some indefinite pronouns that are modified by a prepositional phrase may be either singular or plural. And in this case, you'll just look at the prepositional phrase. So all, any, enough, more, most, none, and some can be singular or plural. If you want to look at the prepositional phrase attached, enough of the project is complete. So of the project is singular. So our verb then is going to be singular. Enough of the projects are complete. Now we have projects, so you'll say are, because projects is plural and are will be plural. So go ahead and pause this and do the your turn problem. So for the your turn, some of the assignments are late. So some could go either way. So you look at the prepositional phrase of the assignments, which is plural. So you'll want to use a plural verb. All right, and our last tricky topic is collective nouns. So collective noun is a singular noun which represents a group of people or things. If you're referring to the group as one unit, it is singular. So even though it might sound plural, because it refers to one thing or one body, you're going to keep it singular. So for example, the Philippines is a great travel destination. Philippines is one collective place, so you'd want to use a singular verb to refer to it. Take a second and do the your turn and pause the screencast. So for the screencast, or I'm sorry, for the your turn, the U.S. House of Representatives is breaking for summer recess. So House of Representatives refers to one body, so you want to use the singular verb there of is. All right, take a second right now, pause the screencast, go through and correct all of the practice problems that you see that come next in the handout. And then once you are done, you can push play and correct your answer, see how you did. Okay, so the first one, everyone, including Anusha and Rachel, climbs the mountain. Everyone is singular, so climbs has to be singular. Who do you think she was? Okay, so we have a singular subject with she, so was also has to be singular. Over the crest of the ridge rides the lone snowboarder. So crest is singular. I'm sorry, ignore that. Snowboarder is singular. So snowboarder is singular even though the subject comes after. So you need to make sure you have a singular subject there. Noah and Anthony play soccer as often as they can. Noah and Anthony are plural together. So play will be your plural verb. The tickets Megan bought give her a reason for going out on Saturday night. Tickets is your plural subject. So give has to be plural as well. The class, which consists of 30 students, arranges a trip to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. So class is singular, so arranges also has to be singular. A pair of sneakers is all she wants for Christmas. Pair is your singular subject, so is also needs to be singular. The fastest times for the VHHS cross-country team are posted on the wall. So times is your plural subject, and so are needs to be your plural verb. That was correct. The 23 members of the VHHA swim team practice each day after school. So members is your plural subject, so practice also needs to be plural. And then each person who climbs the 100 steps mentions the beautiful view. So each is always singular, so mentions also needs to remain singular. Thanks for tuning in to this podcast, and good luck on your subject verb agreement test.